Hi, it is Marianne on Wednesday, August 20th. Okay, so I did go to my meeting Monday, and I did put up a video, but I deleted it. I think there were like 4 views on it when I deleted it, so it was up for a few minutes before I decided, no, that's not quite right, because I was just going in the wrong direction. So no need to talk about that. But I did go to my meeting Monday, and my leader was still there. I thought he had already started his 14-week class, but I was mistaken. And he said this past Monday may be his last one for the next 14 weeks or so, and then he'll be back, provided we keep showing up and he has a workshop to come back to. But I believe everybody will stay loyal. He's there on Mondays at 5:30 p.m., but I'm not going to switch to 5:30 p.m. I do not want to get weighed in the afternoon. Excuse me, I'm drinking a carbonated beverage. And I don't have a ring light on. It's a warm day today, and so I'm just here in the shade. So I'm not going to put any bright lights. Let me get a quick sip of this that has the sucralose. I shouldn't be drinking it. But it tastes good. But anyway, at my weigh-in, I was down 1.8 pounds, which that's not a lot, but it's not bad either. It's going in the right direction. And so I'm happy about that. It wasn't up. I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but because I'm 65, things don't move along as good as they used to. As far as like weight loss, like when we were in our 20s, we could lose it really quickly, but now it's kind of like, And for the most part, it's because I really haven't been putting in the activity I need to put in to get better results. Did take a walk this morning, even though we're having warmer weather, but I only did like 1.5 miles, and I did 1.5 miles yesterday, so that's 3 miles I got in this week, and better than 0 miles, so that's good. I'm going to give myself a pat on the shoulder for that, because it's warm, and I'm not going to go out and get heat stroke. Granted, it's not triple digits or anything, but it's like, say it's 76 now, it feels like 86 out there. We have humidity, but not terrible humidity like they have back east. So I know, I've been there. I've been there in Washington, D.C. in the summer, and like, I think it was August, and it would thunder shower every day at 4 o'clock because of the humidity. So yeah, I'm aware of all that. So I'm down. So I'm going in the right direction. I'm really happy about that. But it was interesting because the topic was about carbohydrates, and if you watched any of my previous videos, you know that I was taking this book club at the senior center, 0 sugar 1 month. Last Friday was the last day, and this isn't about going low carb. It's about eliminating sugars out of the diet, like refined sugars, added sugars. And they don't really talk about simple carbs and complex carbs. They have like a 0 sugar first tier list, and then they have 0 sugar second tier food list. So like on the second tier is going to be starchy vegetables and high sugar fruits, processed meats, nut and seed butters, and some of the legumes, beans. Where on the first tier it's going to be meat and eggs. They have fish and seafood, non-starchy vegetables, lower sugar fruits like avocado, blackberry, lemon, raspberries, olives, limes, and strawberries. But they also have moderate sugar fruits like grapefruit, apples, blueberries, cantaloupe, oranges, kiwi, honeydew, just to mention. And they're calling watermelon a moderate sugar fruit, where on the second tier fruits, they're calling the high sugar fruits banana, cherries, grapes, mango, pear, and pineapple. So that's how this 0 sugar thing was working. Not necessarily low carb, but 0 sugar and added sugars. And then at our meeting this week, they're talking about carbohydrates, and carbohydrates is something that your body does use for energy. So it's not like something that it's you got to check with your doctor, see what's right for you, because some people are pre-diabetic, diabetes, and I'm not a doctor or a nutrition coach or anything like that, so I can't really speak to what you should be eating. I can only speak for myself. I shouldn't be having this sucralose because I don't know, having a diet soda doesn't make me want to go have candy and other sugary things, so it doesn't really affect me that way, but it's not good for the other things. So, but I do the fake sugars, the stevia. In fact, last night I put a ginger root beer in the freezer because I didn't put any in the fridge, and I wanted a root beer, so I thought, I'll just put it in the freezer for 30 minutes. I forgot. This morning I heard this boom. I thought, why is somebody lighting fireworks? They always light a bunch of like M80s and stuff around where I live. They're crazy with that stuff. And I'm like, why are they doing it this morning? Are they doing it on the way to school? What's going on? And then it was early in the morning, and I was going to bake a chicken breast before it got too warm in here because I don't have air conditioning. And so I was putting the rest of the chicken in the freezer, bagging it up, and I opened the freezer, and there's all these chunks of ice. I'm going, what is this? My freezer doesn't get ice like this in it. And I look, and I see the open root beer can. I'm going, oh my gosh. So ended up having to clean the freezer and mop the kitchen floor. So, yeah, I forgot. So the freezer's okay, but good excuse to clean the freezer, right? Mop the kitchen floor. So, I guess I must not have wanted it that bad because I forgot about it. See, you could have a craving for something, and if you wait a little bit, you might forget you wanted it. So that's how that happened. But anyway, so like I said, the thing is about carbohydrates. I'm not going to go into all the... If you go in your Weight Watcher, I don't want that. I want the Weight Watcher app. Let's see. If you go in your Weight Watcher app... Is it turning my face blue? Let's see. And we go... we have our tiles here. I know you can't read them. Oops, I didn't mean to click that. That was calories. If I click on the tile that says carbs, it says, here it says your daily carbs, and then there's another button here. If you click it, it's carbs guidance, and it says carbohydrates or carbs are one of 3 macronutrients needed by our bodies and the main source of energy for our bodies and brains. They come in 2 different forms: simple sugars and complex carbs. Simple sugars, these carbs are easier to digest because the sugar from these foods enters the bloodstream quickly after eating. Table sugar, honey, and agave are all simple sugars. Think candy and cookies. Complex carbs, these are starches and fibers that take longer to digest. You'll find them in foods like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes. So why are carbs important for weight loss and health? Carbs make up a healthy pattern of eating and provide many benefits. Carbs are the main source of energy and used by our body, and the human brain relies heavily on carbs for fuel. The fiber found in complex carbs helps with digestion and regular bowel movements. Sources of carbs, many are zero-point foods: fruits and vegetables, legumes, beans, peas, and lentils, grains, rice, bread, and oatmeal. Pro tip, choosing lower point or 0-point carbs can make it easier to stay in your budget. For grain-based foods, choose lower point whole grains, complex carbs over higher point refined versions and simple sugars. So some fruits can be a simple carb just because of the fructose and not so much fiber and so forth. So you need to check each individual one, where in my book, my Zero Sugar 1 Month book, ooh, I got some light all of a sudden, it gave me like the tier 1 and tier 2. So I have my list to go with. And it was that class was kind of nice. The nurse, she's like a health coach. I'm going to put this phone somewhere. And she works in this center where they, I could get free health coaching for 30 days or something like that. I'm probably not going to do it because she's pretty tough. She's telling me potatoes are in that second tier, but didn't say not to have them. And when I was telling her, I was like all proud of myself because I found in my frozen potatoes the word dextrose, that's another name for sugar, was in my frozen potatoes for whatever reason. And she's like, why are you eating a potato that turns right to sugar in your bloodstream? Whether it does or not, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But I'm like, well, I'm not going to eat potatoes every day. I did have some this morning, but I measured them. On Weight Watchers, we portion them out. Well, it's 0 points, so you don't have to, but I do. Because I'm counting I'm looking at the calories and everything else. But it was kind of nice. She gave us her form for her health coaching, just setting up, carbonation, this week's goals, and then health coaching of 3-month goals. So I could copy these off and start, using this form for myself. She also gave us a printout on fiber facts and why fiber is important, and so and it has a list on the back with the fiber content of foods. This information is not intended to diagnose health problems or to take the place of medical advice or care you receive from your physician or other health care professional. Let's just put that disclaimer out there for my video because, like I said, I'm not a health care professional. I do own 1 share of Weight Watcher stock, though. But I'm not selling the Weight Watcher program, so what's the big deal? I'm just using it. So it looks like this came from this came from Kaiser. I don't go to Kaiser Permanente. I go to Memorial Care. But she's based with the hospital I was actually born at. That's her health center. She also gave me this Rethink Your Drink newsletter. Health risks associated with drinking too many sugary beverages, how to find the amount of added sugar in your favorite beverages, refreshing and easy prepared flavor water recipes. So that's a nice thing that I can use. And so I have a map to where she's at. And so the class was quite nice. We talked about how to build new habits by taking advantage of old ones. They called it habit stacking, where at Weight Watchers we call it piggybacking. Improving my food choices, practical tips, and 0 added sugar key points. Action is the best teacher. Out of sight, out of mind. Like, get rid of this stuff. If you have a problem with it, get rid of it, right? None is easier than some. Now that's a big one. To where now I got rid of it and I was doing good, but I was replacing it with nuts, and now I'm in trouble with the dentist, so I got to go to the dentist Friday. Really nuts. I ate almonds, and typically I don't eat almonds, but they're too hard for my situation. And I think I broke something. I don't know, but I'm going to go get an x-ray just to see, because it hurts, and it doesn't feel good. And it doesn't feel like an abscess or anything like that, because it's not sensitive to hot or anything like that, and I don't have fever or anything, but yeah, it's sore. So I went to the grocery store and I got some soft foods. I got some yogurt. I have some cottage cheese, of course, the eggs and the diced potatoes. When after cooking, they're not too hard. The toast was a bit rough, and it wasn't even hard toast, but it's just the bread. Like bread, just biting on bread will hurt, even if it's not toasted. So I got some instant oatmeal, not with the sugars and cinnamons and fruits in there. I got some frozen bananas that I can put in with the instant oatmeal and just have a nice, if I want some fruit in it. Anyway, so None is easier than some. I agree with that. I don't feel like I'm restricting myself when I get rid of that. I'm replacing it with whole foods, so that's good. Replacing candy and cakes and that stuff with like cherries and the nuts was a mistake for me. I do okay with popcorn as long as I don't get like a kernel. I can't have the kernel and bite down on a kernel. That's going to be a problem. But some people think, oh, but I can just have one once a week or one square of chocolate a day. That's not going to work with me. None for me. None is easier than some for me. But I did find out taking this and doing it that I'm not necessarily addicted to sugar. I'm just addicted to overeating. And that's my problem. Because I can get rid of sugar. It doesn't bother me. It's just that when I start adding it to my daily life, I just kind of want it. Okay, finding your big why and motivation will follow. We do that in Weight Watchers too. Life is so much better on the other side of sugar. It can be. Stop overeating before it starts. So I got a word find book so that when I get bored with that emotional eating, maybe I can get busy doing something else. But like I said, I totally forgot about my root beer in the freezer. So you're a habitual creature, but also highly adaptable, of course. Without question, your body is an engineering marvel. It's normal to experience uncomfortable feelings when working toward a goal. Yeah, things aren't always easy. Making a choice feels uncomfortable, but opens the door to opportunity. Like, what opportunity is going to open if I take action, get this done, and actually get the weight off, right? So we all hear ants, automatic negative thoughts. Acknowledge them and let them go. That's in the book. If you look, there's always something that went well. So kind of looking like, oh, maybe you had a gain on the scale. I'm not talking about the zero sugar. I'm talking about Weight Watchers. So say you had a little gain on the scale. Look at those non-scale victories. I lost an inch off my waist. My pants at work are looser. I mean, I've noticed that. So always look for something that went well. So, and then these are the days. I'm on day 14. There are two types of hunger: true hunger and false hunger. True hunger requires food, whereas false hunger requires understanding. You need to understand that we're not really hungry. We just want to eat. For whatever reason. And then day 15, don't stop before the magic happens. That's like, I guess that's kind of like, this is on the zero sugar, but if we're looking at Weight Watchers, you can go through that honeymoon phase where you're all excited, you're just beginning and you're doing everything perfect, and then you're doing everything so perfect that you burn out and you stop before you see your results. And then day 16, up your game by avoiding the elimination trifecta: sugar, flour, and seed oils. This is where the book lost me because I still eat seed oils. I'm not saying if they're good or bad. I'm not going to comment on that, but there's some in my Bolthouse Farm salad dressing that I like to have. But I will say this, I don't pour the whole bottle of oil on my salad. I measure out a serving with my tablespoon. The flour, I'm not a big flour eater. I just have my one slice of rye bread, which doesn't fall into the added sugar. The brand I have doesn't fall into the added sugar situation. So drop the self-judgment and get curious. Fear and panic are false motivators. It's your hard work and commitment that have made the difference. That's on day 18. Goals are reached one day at a time. In that day 20, there's still work to be done, but for today, you're okay. Day 21, comfort zones feel safe, but they limit opportunities. Sometimes we have to step out and do what's uncomfortable to get further ahead. When we're staying safe, we don't make any progress. Day 22, enthusiasm builds when you lean into the feel-good truth. Day 23, this is only going up to day 26. Do I have? Apparently not. Eliminating sweetness, not just sugar, looks locks in your result. That's where the last week in the book they want you to quit the added sugars. I mean the fake sugars. So I was drinking like seltzer water that didn't have any like this one, sparkling black cherry. This one has the sucralose, so this wouldn't have been on the last week. More like just the flavored water without any sweeteners. Healthy foods become more appealing with sugar out of the picture. Yeah, because we notice that we can taste the flavors better when there's not all that sugar and salt in it. And I'm going to mention salt, yeah. Rules provide the security needed to build confidence in your own decision-making abilities. So, yeah, every bite we put into our mouth, that's a decision. We're deciding to have it. I want it. I'm deciding to have it. Have it and move on. But, we don't have to have it all the time, right? So, it was a 6-week class, and it was worthwhile. I met some nice people, and we all shared and our experiences and tips and tricks and those kind of things, just like going to a Weight Watcher meeting. So I did it along with the Weight Watchers. And so since going back to Weight Watchers to this Monday meeting, I've lost 7.2 pounds. I had gained 9.8, so I haven't lost the gain, but I'm more than halfway there. So I say that's a win for me. That's my feel good. It is a scale victory, but it's, I can look at that and feel good about it. And I lost 1 inch off my waist. I didn't measure anything else. I've lost off my abdomen and hips. Of course, my pants are looser. But I'm focusing on my waistline because it's huge. And I want to get at least to that 35 inches where they say, now I'm not a doctor, don't quote me. From what I've read, should be 35 and under inches, so for a woman. So I'm not there. But I did lose 1 inch, so to me that's some success, and I'm happy about it. So anyway, how is your weight loss going? Two people have come back to YouTube that I have missed a lot, and that is Ines for Nurse and My Well-Rounded Life. I was so happy to see her yesterday. It just popped up on YouTube all of a sudden. And Ines for Nurse, she popped up this past week. And good to see her here too. I really enjoy their videos. So I'm giving them a shout out. They probably don't know me because it's been a while. And my channel name, I'm on a different channel now. Because thank you, I think I got up to 61 subscribers on this one. So we're growing, but because I'm keeping this one as weight loss specific. And you'll notice I don't talk a lot about what I eat in a day and those kind of things, because we're all different. And maybe I can eat more than you in a day and lose 5 pounds. We're all different. So I keep things, I'm not a gourmet cook, so I keep things pretty simple. Like I'll just have a couple eggs with some green chilies in it or zucchini and scramble them up. I don't like over easy eggs, so or I'll just have oatmeal, and I'll just have a salad for lunch. Sometimes I'll put something different. I like beans in my salad and chicken and greens and with whatever's. I'm not going to think negatively with my teeth. I'm just going to go Friday and see what's up. If I have to have it pulled, that's going to disappoint me, because if I have to get this tooth pulled, there's no tooth here. I have a bridge. I have so it goes over this molar and this one, and then there's a fake tooth in between from a tooth that was pulled out, and then there's no tooth. I have a fake tooth here on my partial. I have no teeth on this side. These are all partial denture. Sometimes you'll see me and I won't be having my teeth on, but it's helping me to have them on, so I got to get out of the habit of not having them on. I might have to, I hope I don't have to have it pulled. I hope it's just I don't know what's going on. Got to wait and find out, but so I'm going to kind of be on the softer foods. I like my chips. I like my nuts, but I made the mistake. The mistake was the almonds, because typically I'll do a walnut or a pecan or a cashew. The walnuts and the pecans are not as hard as like an almond. I don't like peanuts, so that's never an issue. But so we'll see. We're going to have to go into soft foods for a bit. That doesn't mean I'm going to go get a tub of ice cream. It means I have my cottage cheese. I have my yogurt. I have my eggs. I have my oatmeal. So we'll see how it goes. As long as I can eat my salad on this side. So as long as I don't get, the problem's going to be if I have to get the tooth pulled. So I might have a problem for a couple weeks if I get it. That's an if. I don't know what's going to happen. So I'm not going to be negative or worry about it till it happens, if it happens. Because if it does happen, then I won't be able to wear my partial, because it will have nothing to hook on. Be in a heck of a mess. Okay. I put some Premier shakes in the fridge just in case. I don't know. I mean, there's ways to get around not gaining weight if it happens. They're just not going to go for tubs of ice cream and gobs of macaroni and cheese. Potatoes are 0 points, so I have some potatoes and some light sour cream to mash it up. I don't necessarily put butter in my potatoes, but, so lean towards those kind of things. The beans are okay. I can gum it up with some beans. Sorry, TMI. But anyway, so any suggestions, put it in the comments. Thanks for watching. I went on a little bit too much in this video, but I wanted to share about my zero sugar class. That's what I intended to do with my video that I made on Monday, but I was in the car in a hurry to get home and go to work. So we'll have breakfast and go to work, because I don't eat breakfast before I go to my Weight Watcher meeting. But I just wanted to share I'm done with the class. I bought the book. I didn't have to, but I have it in case I want to go do it again and just do it on my own without everybody else's, don't have the seed oil, don't have this fake sugar, do it with how I want to do it and my Weight Watchers at the same time. But anyway, let me know your suggestions. How do you handle carbs? Are you afraid of carbs, or do you implement them in your diet? And what types do you like? Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.